there's a little bit of a fear of incomplete migrations, that things you won't have them available when you move to the cloud. I've done hundreds of migrations using Microsoft's import tool, that actually the database import tool, and I have never had any data loss in any context whatsoever. Wasn't known about beforehand. There are certain things that don't work in the cloud that you can do on-prem. You can increase the database attachment size on-prem, and that will unfortunately not be possible in the cloud, right? Because there's other people on the system. You're not just it's not just your company, so you're not the only ones taking the hit for performance issues for having attachments that are too big, or build lists that are bigger than normal. So there are some things, but up front, when you're planning the migration, we need to cull those things. We need to cut them down. We need to figure out how to resolve those things. And Microsoft provide tooling to help understand what those things are, what the impact is, and what we need to do in order to make our environment viable for moving up to Azure DevOps. So there's not really any such thing of a incomplete migration within that context. It will just work. I've had migrations get stuck, and then we have to back off, restore, turn back on. Right, that's how you restore. You turn back on TFS locally, and then replan something because something's gone wrong or something needs to be done on Microsoft's end. But usually, especially if it's a bigger migration, you talk to Microsoft first, and they have a support team available who know you're doing a migration, and you can email them, and they'll go kick the environment or figure out what the problem is at the time so that you can continue. So incomplete migrations from that perspective are not a big deal. If you're doing a ad hoc piecemeal migration, like you're moving the bits and pieces that you want to move, like would you just want to move this team or this subset of this team or this project or just this data, right? Then we will know up front exactly what you can and cannot do within the context of that migration, but it's not something we can define at this point, because it's wholly dependent upon your data, the format of your data, what you want to move, what you're okay with losing, right? And having conversations around that. So you'll know up front. So when it gets to migration time, there shouldn't be any surprises at all.